Hey, what's up, everyone? Raging Gold Nico here, having way too much fun as always. And in case it hasn't been done already, today I want to coin the term fan replacement theory to describe what the hell is going on in all of the niche entertainment mediums that I've grown to love over the years. Because the same shit happens with every single one of them. Every single time they almost are on the cusp of breaking into the mainstream, they do the same shit. They act the same way. Most recently, we see this with Funimation. Now, some people may see them being more involved in anime production committees and trying to kind of whisper into the ears of these Japanese producers what Westerners want in anime. They see that, but not everyone sees it for what it really is. Like, it's not so much that they want to make everything woke just to destroy it. They're trying to replace us. And I want you guys to realize this. This is an attempt by Funimation to replace weebs with a mainstream Western audience. Because us weebs who already love anime, we don't want anything to fucking change. We want them to keep making anime for a Japanese audience because we prefer that to anime made for, or to anything made for a Western audience, despite the fact that we live in the West and most of us have never even seen Japan. We still prefer what they do better than what we have here, right? And what Funimation is trying to do is to start making them appeal towards what they believe Westerners want, which is gonna ruin everything we love about it in the first damn place. And Funimation doesn't care. This is what they want to do. Long story short, they're throwing us out. They've used us up. They've got what usefulness they could out of us, in their opinion anyway. And now they're discarding us. We've seen this happen with gaming already, for example. Remember when gaming used to be a nerdy niche that you got made fun of for? And then it became mainstream, and all the people who made fun of you for being a gamer now suddenly call themselves gamers, and they're still making fun of you for the games you choose to play and trying to ruin them? That's what they're trying to do with anime. They're trying to make anime and market it towards the lowest common denominator Western audience, and fuck what us weebs want, because, hey, you can make more money there. Now, for the record, I have no problems when companies try to expand their audiences. But if you were expanding your audience, what you would do is you'd continue doing the things you're already doing and then maybe do some other things in addition to try to get a different audience on board. But these guys are replacing us. They're flat out saying, like, oh, all this stuff you guys like? Well, fuck you. The mainstream doesn't like it. And we're going to go with the mainstream because there's more of them. And we've seen this time and time again. Like, just look at the past few months. We've seen this with Patreon. Patreon got to where they are now on the backs of, I'm not even going to mince words here, rejects. People who were rejected everywhere else. YouTubers who lost their monetization on YouTube. Oh, you could go to Patreon. Artists who are getting kicked off of other platforms because the Puritans don't like their art. Or, hey, here on Patreon, you can just have your audience give you money. They were more than fucking happy to rise in the ranks and become the go-to name for that business model on the backs of, say, porn game developers, like fucking hentai artists. But as soon as they see that they have a chance to go mainstream, all these people who built them up from the ground up, they're now sticking that fucking knife in their backs. It's like, oh, well, now that we're trying to appeal to the mainstream, we don't want our brand to be associated with your degeneracy, so you're getting the boot. And then they wonder why everyone's fucking leaving them. Yeah, they may be trying to rebrand a bit and try to stemmy some of the bleeding. They're trying to stop the bleeding a bit because it was a very big blow after they banned Sargon and the shady shit they did to pull that. A lot of people left along with Sargon, both on the creator and patron front. And now, Patreon, they can't recover from this because there's other platforms now that like New Project 2 and Subscribestar, which, funny enough, they're doing the same shit Patreon did back in the day. They're making their name known by accepting the Patreon rejects. The people that Patreon doesn't want anymore, they can go to Subscribestar and New Project 2. I wouldn't be surprised if at least Subscribestar, if they ever became the Patreon replacement, they'd probably do the same shit. I'd like to hope they won't, but we've seen the pattern. So they go, we've seen it with Patreon. Marvel, another example. You guys have seen what Batman looks like in current year, right? You guys have seen how they're race, gender, and sexuality swapping every hero. They leave the villains as straight white males, but the heroes, nope, they got to be more diverse. They even flat out said that they don't care about their old audience. It's like, oh, if we got to replace them, big fucking deal. The mainstream comic industry in the West is blatantly flipping the bird to their actual audience. And they're flat out saying, it's like, no, you're not our customers anymore. You're not our target audience. We're trying to get these guys reading comics now. And again, I will reiterate, if they continued making the same comics their original fans loved, but in addition to that made just experimented with other genres, that's what makes manga so much better than Western comics, because there's actual diversity in manga. No matter what the hell you're into, there is a manga for you. If Western comics tried that same model, it's like, okay, we're going to leave our superhero stuff alone, but we're also going to make cooking comics. We're also going to make teen romance comics. Nobody would have fucking complained. But they didn't want to grow their audience. They wanted to replace their existing audience with one that they view as less problematic. And now they got nobody. And they fucking deserve everything they get. So we're seeing this with Marvel in particular, DC. Yeah, Western comics going down the shitter. Yeah, and again, perfect time to remind you, we're making Blade Devil, by the way. We're going to replace him. I love how all these mainstream comics pros are now trying to negotiate with us. Like, dude, there's nothing to negotiate. You guys have nothing we want. You're in the rearview mirror. We've left you behind. You can't negotiate with somebody if you don't have anything they want to negotiate with. You just want something from us, but you have nothing to give us in return at this point. I don't care what happens to you guys. But yeah, there we go. And Sony, another example of that. They forced their Japanese business partners to commit business suicide. And we're going to see a lot of companies going broke, by the way, because of what Sony did. And censor their shit. Like, so you got games where fan service was the main selling point of the game that were only ever released in Japan. And Sony stepped in and said, oh, we're going to have to censor that. I know you're never going to release this internationally anyway, but we don't want this associated with us. We don't want our brand associated with this. We're going for a global audience. And if you guys have been listening to me for a while, you know I agree 100% with Mark Kern. Global audience is nothing but a different way of saying lowest common denominator of censorship. If you want global audience, you're going to have to go with the strictest censorship laws, because these companies don't want to maintain multiple versions of these games. So they forced Japanese developers to censor the key selling points of their games for their Japanese-only audiences and cost them hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, probably going to be putting a lot of these companies out of business. And now they're going to be wondering real soon why nobody wants to do business with them anymore. That's going to be the fun part. There is one positive side effect of this, and then that is that these Japanese developers are finally catching on that Steam is the best option for them. A few of them are pretty slow, but they're the ones that are going to go broke. So yeah, fuck them. Yeah, these companies that made games I used to love, I don't care what happens to them anymore. Marvelous refused to just take Senran Kagura to PC, and they're sticking with Sony, so they can sink with the ship. Yeah, you refuse to get on a lifeboat and leave the Titanic, you could go down with it. I don't care anymore. Someone else is going to replace them soon enough, and they're going to do just fine. So if Marvelous insists on sticking with Sony, if they insist on abiding by this censorship, there's not going to be any future for them, and I don't care anymore. It was fun, But I'm kind of tempted. I wanted to get Senran Kagura 7 just to see the end, how the story ends. But I'll just read the fucking wiki. That's good enough for me. I'm fine. Peach Beach Splash is the highlight of the series for me, and I could just let it stay that way. That game is still good. And now we just wait for their replacements to show up. It's gonna happen sooner or later. Especially if they're business partners. I think Tamsoft are the ones that did most of the actual work. Imagine if they made their own game that's very similar to Senran Kagura, now that Senran Kagura is effectively dead. Oh, I would fucking love to see that. But the other funny thing, though, before I move on about this global standards shit, is the same people who were cheering the censorship of Japan to meet these global standards are reeing and crying when Westerners censor for China or Saudi Arabia. That is too far. Like what? When you were supporting this global standards bullshit, were you really so fucking stupid that you believed you were going to be the arbiters of what global standards are? I am not going to defend your shit whatsoever. You already censored my stuff. I don't have to be in this fight anymore. I've already moved on. It's not my fucking problem if you get censored. Fuck, I'm loving watching you cry about it. I love watching idiots get put on the receiving end of what they've been doing to others and then cry about it. I'm loving it. So you're not going to get any help from me there. May you live long lives in this hell of your own creation. You made this bed, you fucking lie in it. I'm not going to do anything but laugh. But anyway, I hope I've made my point. These companies always do this fucking shit. They use niche, out of the mainstream reject ideas to get big, and as soon as they get big, they stab those who got them there in the back. They basically, dude, if we were like a shuttle, or if they were a shuttle, we'd be their booster rockets. They use us like a fucking booster rocket, and as soon as they get to where they want to be, they just eject us and let us burn up in the atmosphere. They couldn't care less what happens to us anymore. We're just garbage to them now. Doesn't matter that we got them there. We're nothing. So as soon as they get to where they want to be, they cut us off. And I look forward to seeing how this stabs them in, or how this ends up for him, because Funimation, they're tied to Sony, so we're going to get to that soon. Patreon, they're already struggling. People are leaving that site in droves. People already know if you want that type of business model and you want security, you have to go to New Projects 2 or Subscribestar, or better yet, have your own payment portal on your own website. Then you're really going to be safe. That's the safest you could be right there, is having your fucking own. That's the pattern, isn't it? Make your own is always the best option. But yeah, Patreon, nobody trusts Patreon anymore. Patreon is too unstable. It's too big of a what if. Because like Clownfish was dead on. They were debating having a Patreon. But then they're like, oh, well, but then we have to constantly worry about what we say off platform and if it's going to offend Patreon and if they're going to deplatform us. Like, no self-respecting creator is going to put themselves in a position where Patreon decides if they get their money or not. So everyone's leaving them in droves and they're freaking out. Marvel. I don't think we need to say any more about Marvel or DC. The entire Western comic industry is dead right now. And we're replacing it with Blade Devil. I hope you guys look forward to that. And Sony, the same weebs that they stabbed in the back were the people who got them through their shitty PS3 launch. The only people who stuck with them for the PlayStation 3 were hardcore weebs that loved their Japanese games. And how do they repay us? As soon as they get so big that they don't think they need us anymore, they stab us in the back and tell us we're not welcome anymore. So, when the PS5 is flopping just like the PS3 was, and for those who say it can't happen because of how big the PS4 was, remember how big the PS2 was? Didn't help the PS3 any. It was still a fucking flop at first. When they repeat that, they're not going to have anyone to bail their sorry asses out. Us weebs are going to be long gone. And even if they try to walk back their censorship, we know what kind of company they are. No one's going to trust them again. And I'm not even talking about the customers. It's even worse from a business partner perspective. They stabbed their business partners in the back. Companies who were trapped in exclusivity deals with them had no choice but to basically torpedo their own fucking projects and lose copious amounts of money because of what Sony did. Do you think any of these companies are ever going to work with them again if they're given the choice? Fuck no. You'd have to, and if they do, they're fucking idiots and they deserve everything they get. So there's going to be a lot of comeuppance, especially in this era of beer virus. And I look forward to seeing all of these companies who only became what they are because we were there for them, and then they stabbed us in the back. I'm looking forward to seeing them fall for what they did. If they didn't stab us in the back, if they didn't try to replace us, we would have been there for them. We are the kind of people who would spend thousands of dollars on our hobbies if we had that money. The new audience they're courting doesn't do that. And they're going to learn that the hard way. Yeah, they may have replaced us with a bigger audience, but it's the same thing with anime cons. Yeah, anime cons are now family friendly and mostly filled with teenagers. But what they've done is they've chased away guys like me who showed up with big wads of cash to spend and replaced me with 6 teenagers who were sharing $50 among themselves for the whole 4 days of the convention. Yeah, your new audience isn't going to be willing to spend that money to keep you around like we would have been. And, you stabbed us in the back first, so fuck you. I don't care what happens to you anymore. I'm going to be here building your replacements. So if you want to keep fucking up, keep driving customers my way, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, at least you could do something useful on your way out. And that's all I got to say, guys. Thanks for listening. Oh man, I am so excited to tell you guys right now that finally, after about a year of build-up and shilling, we have launched Blade Devil on Indiegogo, and so far it is doing so well thanks to awesome people like you. If you haven't backed it yet, then please check the links in the description and check out Blade Devil on Indiegogo. You will not be disappointed. Looking forward to seeing you there.